There are some pretty awesome names in college football. Money Parks at Utah, DeColdis Crawford at Louisiana Tech, General Booty at Oklahoma. But there might not be any better name or more recognizable name than Alabama cornerback Jaquinski McKinstry, or better known as Kool-Aid McKinstry. Right off the bat, this name is incredible, and he's going to make so much money off of his name alone. But not only that, the dude is an absolute baller, and in today's video, we will be breaking down his strengths, weaknesses, give a player comp, and where I ultimately think he is selected in the 2024 NFL Draft. But hey guys, if you are new to the channel, I've already done a number of these prospect spotlights, so check those out if you are interested. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's get into it. If you're looking at stats, they aren't going to necessarily jump off the page with Kool-Aid. In 2022, he had 35 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 interception. But the stat that you really want to pay attention to is his pass deflections. Kool-Aid had a staggering 15 pass deflections in 2022. That is excellent. And so far in 2023, he's picking up where he left off with 3 pass deflections early on in the season. In the NFL, and life in general, size does matter. Kool-Aid McKinstry has fantastic size for the cornerback position. Standing at 6'1", 181 pounds, McKinstry fits the ideal size mold for a stereotypical cornerback 1 in the NFL. He has excellent arm length as well, and he uses that to his advantage when breaking up passes in the air. When watching Kool-Aid, the first thing that is going to jump off the page is his ability in man-to-man coverage. Kool-Aid is phenomenal in man coverage. He does an awesome job with his initial punch, and he is very good at knocking the receivers off of their route. Press man coverage is where Kool-Aid thrives. He is super sticky in man-to-man coverage, and he stays glued to the wide receiver's hips. He doesn't allow much leeway and stays on his spot. He also moves incredibly well for his size. He has fluid hips and can move on a dime. Kool-Aid is a solid zone defender as well. He reads the quarterback's eyes well and plays his spots incredibly well. With his recovery speed, he has the ability to close quickly in zone coverage, but I think his strength lies in his man-to-man abilities. McKinstry has solid speed, as I mentioned. He is rumored to run in between the high 4.3s and low 4.4s, which would be phenomenal for a player of his caliber. He does a great job at running stride for stride with the wide receiver, and he doesn't give up much room. He has amazing recovery speed, and he comes back to the ball really quickly and can make a play on the ball or tackle very fast. Another thing that sticks out with Kool-Aid is his ball skills. While he doesn't produce a lot of interceptions, he does an amazing job at tracking the ball in the air and not getting penalized. He does a great job at knocking the ball out of the air and being physical without really holding or getting flagged. So that's an amazing trait for a corner to possess. There are some areas, however, I want to see improve in Kool-Aid's game. For one, I want to see his physicality improve, especially in press coverage. His fundamentals are all there, but I want to see him use his hands more often and be a bit more handsy at the point of attack. He's not physical, don't get the wrong idea about that. But how I like my corners is extremely physical, and he's not the most physical guy in this class. This also shows up in his tackling. He's not a super strong hitter, which is an area I want to see improve with NFL coaching. There are multiple plays where he'll allow an out route. You saw it in the Ole Miss game last week. He'd allow a pass, and he just doesn't have that power to really knock guys down, and I want to see that improve. Now, a lot of the physicality things could be because Alabama doesn't really have their DBs play super physically. But nonetheless, I want to see it on display more. That's one of my most valuable traits in a corner, and it's not super on display all the time with Kool-Aid McKinstry. Kool-Aid also allowed some big plays from time to time. It is something that has gotten better over time, but he did have the tendency early on to allow some plays over the top, and I want to see that get fixed up as he gets more experience, and I truly believe he can. Lastly, I want to see him improve as a run defender. Once again, this might be accredited to Alabama's scheme. They don't really bring the corners down to help on the run all that much, but he seemed to be locked into his matchup so often, and he didn't come down and help with the run as much as I would have liked to see. Something that I think will improve in the right scheme, but as of right now, I'm not really seeing it with him. Kool-Aid would thrive in a heavy man-to-man scheme. A scheme that mixes in regular coverage with some press coverage as well and allows him to have one-on-one matchups that I think he can win with his ball skills, speed, and fundamentals. But he's super scheme versatile. He can play anywhere on the field, and I think he thrives in just about every defense in the NFL. Koolaid McKinstry is my CB1, and I don't think it's particularly close. This isn't a very deep corner class whatsoever. He has the size, strength, speed, and is extremely fundamentally sound and is one of the most well-rounded CB prospects in this class. He is my number 7 overall player in the 2024 NFL Draft. Alabama has produced a number of fantastic corners. Marlon Humphrey, Trayvon Diggs, Patrick Surtain, just to name a few. But when coming up with a player comparison, none of these guys really reminded me of Koolaid McKinstry. I actually think the player that gives me the most Koolaid McKinstry vibes is another one of the best names in the NFL, and that's Sauce Gardner. They're both excellent corners in one-on-one matchups with excellent recovery speed, and they're just menaces. Not to mention, they both have amazing names. They're fast, physical, and I think there's a lot to like there. While the physicality isn't on display yet with Kool-Aid, I think in the right scheme he is going to be one of the more physical guys in the league, and I'm really excited to see what he can be in the NFL. Kool-Aid is a super fun prospect. He has all the tools you look for in a day one starting corner, and I think he's a very fun player with a ton of upside. For all the reasons I stated, I believe Koolaid McKinstry will be a top 10 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.